Did you catch that moment where Rory's talking about 2015? They're sitting around deciding whether to basically make Britain a subsidiary of the US military, and nobody even raises the question of what happens if America goes sideways.
Man, that's the colonizer mindset right there. They spent so long being the empire, they forgot empires fall. Now they're shocked that the boss might turn on them.
But here's what gets me.
Hold up. He said they were going to shut down their whole Navy and become a Marine Corps attached to the US. That's not an alliance, that's vassalage.
That's exactly my point. Look, I've been in those rooms. I've sat with Joint Chiefs, with State Department lifers. The assumption of American benevolence is so baked in, it's like asking a fish about water. But Rory's right. Nobody had a contingency for us becoming the problem.
We've been the problem. Ask anybody in Latin America, ask anybody in the Middle East.
I'm not disagreeing.
Ask Haiti, ask Chile, ask Iran about 1953.
Jalen, I'm not disagreeing. But there's a difference between the CIA overthrowing governments in the shadows and the President of the United States openly threatening to invade Greenland, like some medieval warlord.
Is there, though? Is there really? Because from where I'm sitting, the only difference is Trump doesn't have the decency to lie about it.
Jesus, when you put it that way.
And can we talk about Stewart calling Afghanistan a pig fuck? Finally somebody with a platform admits what we all knew. $1 trillion. $1 trillion. You know what we could have done with $1 trillion in Detroit, in Baltimore, in Mississippi?
The idealism Rory talks about, I knew those guys, Petraeus, McChrystal, Holbrook, brilliant men, serious men. But you're right, it was still a pig fuck.
See, you can't even say it.
Fine, it was a pig fuck. Happy?
There you go. Now we're having a real conversation. But here's what kills me. Rory's sitting there being all nostalgic about American idealism while admitting they literally handed Afghanistan back to the Taliban. The same Taliban. The governor he met blew up the Buddhas.
20 years, thousands dead, and we're back to square one. You know what that proves? Sometimes the establishment consensus is just collectively delusional.
Now you're getting it. This is what I've been trying to tell you. The whole system is, wait, did he really say Trump is offering to drop the tariffs already?
After 2 days of actual pressure from Walmart and Target. 2 days.
The man folded faster than a lawn chair. All that tough talk, tariff is the most beautiful word. And Target walks in like, hey buddy, we're going to run out of toilet paper. And suddenly it's, China has to make a deal, so maybe I'll drop them.
This is what happens when you govern by temper tantrum. No strategy, no theory of the case, just
vibes, bad vibes. I'm mad at China vibes.
You know what's truly dangerous, though? Europe looking at China as an alternative. When Rory says EU officials are asking, maybe we need to be closer to China than the US, that's the end of the post-war order right there.
Good. Maybe it should end. That order gave us Vietnam, gave us Iraq, gave us
70 years without a European war.
Unless you count Yugoslavia.
The longest period of European peace in recorded history.
Built on American military dominance and everybody else's submission.
Would you prefer Chinese dominance? Because that's what's on the table. This isn't some theoretical exercise anymore. Xi Jinping is literally touring Southeast Asia right now saying, I'll be your reliable ally.
And why shouldn't they take the deal? At least China builds infrastructure. China shows up with bridges and roads. We show up with lectures about democracy and drone strikes.
China shows up with debt traps.
As opposed to the IMF's debt traps? Come on, Arthur. At least China's honest about it being transactional.
That's actually a fair point.
Thank you. See, this is progress. But can we circle back to the craziest thing Rory said? Politicians are depressed. They hate their jobs. They have no power to actually do anything, but they won't leave.
That hit close to home. I know too many people like that. Spent their whole lives climbing the ladder, get to the top, and realize they're just middle management for forces beyond their control.
So why don't they quit?
Because what else are they going to do? Write a book? Become a lobbyist? Join a think tank? Once you're in the machine is all you know.
That's the saddest thing I've ever heard. You're telling me these people would rather be miserable in power than happy without it?
Power's a hell of a drug, kid.
Nah, see, that's that DC brain poisoning. Real power comes from the streets, from organizing, from...
From what exactly? Because last I checked, the streets didn't stop Trump's election. The organizing didn't prevent any of this.
Damn, you really woke up and chose violence today.
I'm just saying, we need to be honest about what works and what doesn't. Rory's talking about giving direct cash to poor people. No strings, no monitoring, just money. And it transforms entire villages. But try explaining that to a voter in Ohio.
Why is it always Ohio? Every political conversation ends up in Ohio.
Because Ohio picks presidents. But that's the tragedy. The policies that actually work, that have evidence behind them, are politically impossible. Meanwhile, the policies that are politically popular are actively destructive.
Like tariffs?
Exactly like tariffs. Trump found the one economic policy that economists across the spectrum agree is terrible and made it his signature issue.
Because it feels good. We're gonna punish China. Never mind that we're really punishing ourselves. It's all about the feeling.
Musk saying empathy is the world's biggest problem. That tells you everything about where we are. The cruelty isn't a bug, it's a feature.
Wait, he actually said that?
According to Rory, apparently got mad that his employees wanted to be treated like human beings.
These billionaires really think they're philosopher-kings, don't they? Like, my brother, you made cars and rockets. That doesn't make you Marcus Aurelius.
My brother, you made cars and rockets. I'm stealing that.
But for real though, this is what we're up against. The richest, most powerful people on Earth actively opposed to human empathy. And they're winning.
Are they though? Look at Trump already backing down on tariffs. Look at Brexit buyers' remorse. Maybe the pendulum's starting to swing back.
Man, you've been saying that pendulum's gonna swing for 40 years. When's it actually gonna happen?
I don't know. I honestly don't know anymore.
See, that's the first honest thing any establishment guy has said to me. You don't know. None of y'all know. The whole system is just, what did Stewart call it?
A pig fuck.
There it is. Arthur Caldwell said pig fuck twice in one conversation. We're making progress.
You're a bad influence.
I'm a truth teller. And the truth is, whether it's Trump or Biden or whoever comes next, the machine keeps grinding. The defense budget goes up. The rich get richer. The planet gets hotter.
So what do?
We do what Rory's nonprofit does. We bypass the system, direct action, direct cash, cut out the middleman.
That's not a scaling solution.
Neither is waiting for the politicians who admit they're depressed and powerless. At least direct action does something. At least it helps somebody.
You know what the real tragedy is? Rory's right that we need America back. For all our flaws, for all our failures, the alternatives are worse. A world dominated by China or Russia or just chaos.
Maybe chaos is better than order built on exploitation.
Really? Ask Syria about chaos. Ask Libya. Ask anybody who's lived through state collapse.
Those countries collapse because we collapse them?
Not entirely wrong, but that doesn't make chaos better than order.
Whose order? Order for who? Because from where I'm sitting, your order looks a lot like chaos for most people. Just chaos with better PR.
You know what? Maybe you're right. Maybe the whole thing needs to burn down.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Arthur Caldwell going full anarchist? What happened to stability through negotiation?
I'm tired, Jalen. 40 years of watching the same cycles, the same failures, the same...
Pig fucks?
Stop it. But yes, maybe your generation has it right. Maybe it's time to stop trying to reform the unreformable.
Or, hear me out, maybe we need both. Maybe we need you on the inside pushing for reform and us on the outside demanding revolution. Maybe that's how change actually happens.
The inside-outside game.
Exactly. You keep them honest, we keep you honest.
That's awfully mature for a revolutionary.
That's awfully revolutionary for an establishment guy.
Maybe we're both evolving.
Maybe we have to. Because whatever this is, Trump threatening Greenland, Europe flirting with China, billionaires declaring war on empathy, this ain't sustainable.
No, it's not.
So what happens next?
Honestly, I think we're about to find out if the American experiment can survive its own success. We built a world order so successful that people forgot why we built it. Now they want to tear it down without understanding what comes next.
Maybe what comes next is better.
Maybe, but historically, maybe better has led to a lot of definitely worse.
So we're stuck?
No, we're at an inflection point. The old order is dying, the new one isn't born yet. Everything's up for grabs.
Gramsci.
You read Gramsci?
I'm not just a pretty face, Arthur. The old world is dying and the new world struggles to be born. Now is the time of monsters.
Now is the time of monsters. Yeah, that about sums it up.
So what do we do about the monsters?
We fight them. In the streets, in the institutions, in the culture. We fight them everywhere.
Together?
Together.
Well, damn, Arthur Caldwell and Jalen Brooks versus the monsters. I'd watch that movie.
It'd be a short movie if the monsters have their way.
Then we better make sure they don't.
Amen to that.
Did you just say amen? Mr. Georgetown Cigar Lounge said amen.
What can I say? You're rubbing off on me.
Next thing you know, you'll be out here organizing unions.
Let's not get crazy.
Baby steps, baby steps.